side, stupid. Pick a side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid.
Hey everybody, welcome to our second prelim show of Pick a Side Stupid. Our September tournament is happening now. Tonight we have 14 comedians that are going to debate one another. And the topic is cryptozoology, which is the study of hidden animals or creatures, which may or may not be real creatures, like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness monster and all those sorts of things. We'll be talking about that all night tonight. And we have 5 categories. Our categories will be origin. So what's the story behind this? Where did this come from? Body. What is this body made up of this weird creature? Habitat, where they live. Hoax. So some of these creatures have been hoaxes, apparently. Not all of them are real. And once in a while, it's just a prank that happened. And so we're going to talk about those a little bit. And then wild card, which could be about anything having to do with cryptozoology. So before we get into the debates, I wanted to address something that was in the YouTube comments right now. Somebody had asked if when you're voting, if it turns green, does that mean that person got the vote, or is there something else they have to do? All they have to do is click their name, and once it turns green, you'll know that they've received your vote, and then I'll hit, a thing to end the poll, and that's when all of the votes are tallied up. So the reason you could click back and forth up until the point that the poll closes. So that's why it just kind of stays green and there's not a submit button or something like that. So if you change your mind while somebody's arguing, you can change it, but just make sure you get it in before we close the poll. Okay, so with that in mind, if you're watching for the first time, I haven't even told you yet, you get to choose the winners. That's how this is going to work. So there is a poll, and if you look at the YouTube video and you look directly underneath it in the description, there's a link. You click on that link, and that will bring you to the poll. And all night, we'll be updating the debaters in there, and we'll just be asking you who won. And you click on your favorite, and then we'll close the poll. Whoever has the most votes when it closes, that's who's moving on to the next round. Right now, we have a little practice poll in there if you want to check it out. And it just says, would you rather get a completely clear picture of Bigfoot or the Loch Ness monster? And I'm going to say Bigfoot, because I think there's more money in that. And that's what cryptozoology is really about. It's about the money. But most people here said Loch Ness monster, 11-3. So there you go. If you did the first one, you see how it works. So that's how we'll be doing this all night. All right. So let's get straight into the debates this evening. First up, facing off, we're going to have James Sheehan and Julia Rios. So, hey, Julia. Hey, James. How are you?
Doing good.
Great. So, James, it'll be up to you to decide whether you want to go first or second here.
I'll go second, Sean.
Okay, so Julia, you can pick from any category that you like between origin, body, habitat, hoax, and wild card.
I'm going to go wild card.
Okay, cool. So your question is, who would be the better roommate? Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster?
Okay, so I'm gonna go Loch Ness Monster. This is a water beast, so all I have to do is get a really big indoor pool, and then bonus, I have an indoor pool, and also the monster stays in the water, and my house living space is just clean. I see no downside to this situation. Time.
So, okay, well, if you want a huge fucking mess in your apartment and you want to have to supply water all the time to the Loch Ness Monster, fine. Bigfoot is so sexy. Let me tell you something. Like, and we're not just talking about the feet. We're talking about the size. Like this person, whatever they are, is a just all around great looking creature. And I'm not going to put something in my apartment that we've only seen the top of. Okay, what the fuck is that? You just see the little hose coming out? I don't know if that's real. Bigfoot is real. Okay, he probably fits in Jordan 3s. All right, probably plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. Probably shoots a couple 3-pointers. He's sexy. She could be sexy. Who knows?
I'm going to counterpoint that and say that Bigfoot is very large and very hairy. And if any of my experience about teenage boys tells me anything, Bigfoot smells probably terrible. And I mean, that's not anything against Bigfoot, but I don't think Bigfoot is taking care of that body odor in a way that would work inside an apartment. Bigfoot lives in the forest. We should keep Bigfoot in the forest. That is where Bigfoot belongs. Loch Ness Monster, naturally clean, always swimming.
Time.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, my feminism extends to big, hairy teenage boys. Like, listen, they can be in my apartment. I don't give a fuck. I just bought 3 packages of Glade for $4 at Walgreens. Like, I have enough to spray this shit down. Bigfoot can come over. Time.
All right. Well, a lot of good points here, and it's going to be up to the audience to choose their winner. So head into the Pick a Side Stupid poll. The description has your link. So just click on that and vote for who you like the best, whether it's James Sheehan or Julia Rios. And while we're waiting for that to come in, I will tell you, I would rather live with the Jersey Devil out of all of them. That's who I'm going with. He's got wings. You know, if you don't ever have to get an Uber. You get a ride somewhere. He's just bringing you along. And, you know, would you, I hadn't written this down, but would you rather get an Uber pool or be carried by the Jersey Devil? I mean, I feel like that's a toss up, right?
How big is the Jersey Devil?
The Jersey
I'm going
Devil,
Uber.
I think he's got like a 25-foot wingspan.
Oh, Jersey Devil. You want to get as far away from like Jersey as possible. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's a good point. All right, I'm closing the poll here. And we'll see how everybody voted as these votes roll in right now. And moving on to the next round, we have James Sheehan. So James will be moving on to next week.
Yay.
Julia will get another shot later tonight. And we're on to our next debate. So next up, it will be Corey Saunders and Owen Linders. So, hey guys, how's it going?
Hello.
Fantastic.
We're
Great.
fabulous.
Corey, do you want to go first or second?
Oh, put me in first.
Okay, great. So you get to choose the category.
Let's go with Origin.
All right. Your question about Origin is, if you could have just one of the Mongolian deathworm's traits, would you rather have the ability to spit venom from your mouth, or would you rather have a coating of toxic slime that would kill anyone that touched you instantly?
I think I'd rather spit poison from my mouth because I run into a lot of people who piss me off and just like they start running their mouth and I need them to stop. So I think that if I could just spit a little poison and be like, girl, you done. You know, it wouldn't necessarily be lethal, but enough to get the point across. Time.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sean, do I go now?
Yeah, you're up.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. Unlike my opponent, Corey Saunders, who spent the entirety of quarantine getting hot, which unacceptable. I'm a blue-collar debater. Both of these things make no sense to me. I pulled up this image of this gross thing from the internet. It's from the movie Dune, probably. Again, not a nerd. I would prefer that if anybody, again, I think you said spit venom, if anybody makes physical contact with me, I wish to convey to them that they will be filled with venom. Unwanted touching continues to be unchill. So, touch my body. But also, I cannot express to you enough how good poison smells. And I just like the idea that I'll have kind of aura of danger where I'll arrive at a Boston open mic. And people will be like, that's Owen, the guy who smells like poison. Don't touch it.
Time.
Okay, but let's discuss the fact that you leave that trail of venom behind you everywhere you went. First of all, that's a fall hazard. You need to be putting up signs to be respectful of everyone else's goddamn space. Second of all, have you ever seen the person who has the toilet paper stuck on their foot and it trails off and they look like an idiot leaving the bathroom? That's how you'd look, or just way more deadly. Also, what a mess. Who needs to clean that up? Not I. I'm not doing it, and I don't think it's fair to any of the janitors in the world to have to clean up your nasty ass.
Wow, hurtful. First of all, custodians. Second of all, if you don't think I'm going to have a Zamboni following behind me, picking up a poison, putting that into science, there's that. Also, I gotta say, Corey, I mean, look, as a person who spits pure joy, if you are spitting venom, that's one of your sole appeals. Like, you have a melodic voice. I'd hate to see you denigrated by.
All right, a lot of solid points here, and I like that. No matter what, you're going to be venomous. That's the important thing. Is no matter what, you have the opportunity to hurt many people. So. It's up to the audience really to decide this. So if you head into the poll right now by clicking on the link in the description, put in your vote, and we will close that poll in just a few seconds. And at that point, we will declare our winner of this debate. So just getting ready for this show tonight, I read a bunch of stuff about cryptozoology, and I think my favorite one so far is probably the Loveland Frogman, because most things, if you look up what a terrestrial cryptid is, it's usually some kind of Bigfoot, some kind of Sasquatch, but not the Loveland Frogman. He is a man that has a frog's head, and that is a very special kind of creature,
Ew.
John, again, did you do most of your research on Reddit? I'm unclear on the contours. Are you on some sort of furry subreddit? Like, is that?
No, that was actually, I found a thing today when I was looking up, I was trying to find hoaxes, and everything on Reddit was like, this is actually very real, this thing. So you can't rely on that. Okay. So the audience has voted in a close one here. Owen Linders is moving on. And Corey will have his chance at redemption later tonight.
Oh my goodness.
Looks shocked. Okay. So next up, everybody please welcome Shelly Gruenberg and Laura Clark. Now, Shelly, it will be up to you to choose whether you want to go first or second here.
I'll go second, please.
Okay, so Laura, you can pick between, let's see, body, habitat, or hoax.
Hoax, please.
Hoax, okay. So let's say that you got scared by some teenagers in the woods, but decided to blame it on a monster and write a book about the experience. Okay. What do you title your book? Do you title it I Fought the Ape Men of Mount St. Helens or Teenagers Are the Real Monsters?
Oh wow. No, you know what? Like, if there's one thing I've learned, it's trying to look cool always falls through. Always at the worst time. The farther you get away from like who you actually are and your full dorkulence, like the more obvious it's going to be when someone comes along and pops the balloon and you're revealed for like the sad bitch dork who got scared by some teens. So like, honestly, I'm gonna just like cut out that whole side plot where I try to be cool. Like, it's 2020 and we're all so sick of it when a movie or a show takes all this time with the narrative where someone tries to like hide this little part of their story to look slightly better. It's so boring. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I got scared by some teens in the woods. They said some unkind things. It hurt my feelings, but they were human beings.
Teenagers suck. We're not disagreeing. I was a teenager recently, and I haven't stopped sucking yet. So, when the group of high schoolers at my work says my hair and glasses combination makes me look like Ben Franklin, I say nay. I said, I fought the ape man. You will show me some respect.
Oh, okay. See, like, first of all, no, you're right. You're still a teenager till you're 25. That's just brain chemistry. That's just how it works. And we should write rules and laws around it. Anyway, though, the thing is, like, teens see through that bullshit, though. They're gonna be like, look at this, like, doughy bitch. She didn't fight an ape man. Like, I'm not gonna get away. No, that's what they would say to me. That's what they would say to me. That's what they would say to me. I'm just saying they would recognize it immediately.
Laura, that is unfair because that's also exactly what they would say to me. As a doughy bitch, I need all the street cred I can get. Which is why my only option is saying I fought the ape man. I wouldn't call it I fought the ape man. I would say I fought the ape man and won. Thank you.
All right. A lot of great points, and I agree that teenagers are terrible. So,
Here.
yeah, including, you know, all of us when we were teenagers, I'm sure. So, oh, sorry, Owen. So go in and vote. Vote for your favorite right now. You know, whether it's Shelly or Laura, put in your vote. The poll is up. You can find the link in the description on YouTube. And we're just waiting for you to let us know who you like the best, and then we'll move on to our next debate. But that I Fought the Ape Men of Mount St. Helens is a real book that a guy wrote because some children threw rocks at him while he was in a canyon, and he didn't like it. And you know, he said, I think it was Bigfoot. And everybody else said, no, those were the kids from the local YMCA. But that book got published and it exists. It's out there. You can find it. So if you are looking for something a little bit less intense than the Bigfoot erotica that I know everybody enjoys.
I knew it. You did all your research on Reddit.
And the votes are in, and our winner of this debate is Shelly Gruenberg. All right, so Shelly is moving on, and Laura will have another chance later on. And in the meantime, let's have Craig Bideman and Sam Reisman face off.
Woo!
All right. Hey, Craig. Hey, Sam. How's it going?
It's pretty good.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Solidly decent.
Yeah, I'll take that. That's better than, you know, anybody than I would assume right now at this point. So, All right, so Craig, you can choose whether you go first or second.
Sure, I'll go second.
Great. And Sam, what category would you like between body and habitat?
Habitat.
Okay. Your question is, why haven't we ever found Bigfoot remains? Is it because the Pacific Northwest is a bad habitat for preserving bodies, given the environment and the amount of scavengers? Or is it because Sasquatches bury their dead?
Well, I mean, it's obvious. I mean, right now the Pacific Northwest is just a crematorium. I mean, where are you gonna exist? They're probably defecting to like Texas, like everyone from California is doing right now. I mean, they're just mistaken for some hirsute gentlemen. They're probably shaving to fit in with the locale, the warm locale. There's no Twin Peaks that they can just chill out in, sit in the. I assume that's a character in Twin Peaks. What is it? They have the log lady. I'm sure they have the Sasquatch man. And I mean, it's not hospitable for them in the area everyone thinks they're in. They're off in Texas where no one's looking for them.
So, being from the Pacific Northwest, I can tell you that there are so many different types of soil that are good for preserving bodies. I don't have the time to get into that right now because my home is on fire. But so you're right there. The other side of this is Sasquatches clearly bury their dead or eat their dead. What was that, Sean?
Bury their dead.
Yeah, they bury their dead because they're civilized people. There's a whole ceremony about it. The Seattle Supersonics went through so many different mascots that they had to continuously find new people to actually sorry, my cat's attacking me, to actually develop more and more mascots because they kept killing off their Squatch, or whatever his name was. I forget his name. Supersonics aren't a team anymore.
I'm pretty sure they don't bury their dead. What do the Italians do? I believe Bigfoot is Italian adjacent. They're Catholic. They're cremators. I assume they put it in their olive oil. I don't know what those people do, but I mean, it's not my fault or anyone else's here's fault that you can't describe soil with brevity. I mean, the truth is they're off in Texas.
Since the Sasquatch is native to where I'm native, I understand that the soil there is rich enough to maintain and preserve bodies. So if you are unclear of how their ceremonies function, that's for you to look up on the internet, not me. I've done plenty of research. I don't need to tell you that research right now. I just need you to understand where I come from. Dead bodies are preserved very well, very richly, even though we're on fire.
Time. All right. Well, a lot of good points here, but it's really up to the audience to decide who's the winner of this debate. So head into the poll. You can find the link in the description below the YouTube video right now, and you can vote for your favorite, whether it's Sam or Craig. And Craig, you are from the Pacific Northwest, right?
Yeah, and it's wild right now.
Oregon?
Nope. Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah.
So I had
like the ones in your bodies.
I had the right state. I had the wrong pronunciation.
It's okay.
Pronunciation.
I hear it all the time.
Hey.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. And let's see how people voted on this one and who's going to be heading through to next week's show and who's going to have their chance to face off again later tonight. And the votes are in, and moving on to next week is, by one vote, Sam Reisman.
Dang.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so Craig will be up again later tonight. And our next matchup is between Adeline Pack and Wayne Maston. So, hey, Adeline. Hey, Wayne.
Hey.
Hey,
It's good to see you both. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, great to see you.
yeah, good to be here.
Adeline, it'll be up to you to decide whether you want to go first or second here.
Yeah, I'll go second, please.
Okay. So, Wayne, your question is going to be from the body category, because that's all that we have left. That's the only one that we haven't discussed yet. So here we go.
All right.
Your question is, which is scarier, a man-sized moth that does regular moth stuff, or a moth-sized moth, but it tells you when you're going to die?
I think I want to go with the moth-sized moth that can predict my death. My kids really want to know about this moth because they've decided that I'm going to be the last living thing. I'm going to even outlive the cockroaches. So I want to find this moth and be able to bring it to my kids and show them that, in fact, I might die sooner than the cockroaches. I may not be the last one alive. So, without a moth like that, my kids are going to continue to harass me about how old I am and how I'm going to outlive everything else there is in the world. So that's why I want that moth. Thank you.
Well, personally speaking, my entire existence is rooted in denial. So if I had this little thing fluttering around me that kept saying 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, I would simply say 3 seconds and just give it a taste of its own medicine, really tell that moth where it belongs and just get rid of the problem and continue living my life in a state of blissful ignorance. Now, Sean, when you read the question and you said man-sized, I immediately panicked. I'm not interested in anything that's man-sized. If it has the word man in it, no thank you, I'm terrified. It's not looking too good.
So if you ever seen a moth? Moths are dusty. When you smash them, you get this dust all over your hands. If you had a man-sized moth, can you imagine the amount of dust that you would have in your apartment? Just think about that. And they'd be flapping their wings and that dust would be going all over the place. And they've got those big feathery things that they use. They're like antenna, and you got those things flapping around too. And they're also being dusty all over the place. Come on. Wouldn't you rather have something that just comes up, whispers in your ear, goes 6 more years?
I'm sorry, I'm so silly. I should have clarified. The man-sized moth would not live in my house. I would kick it right the fuck out right away. That's all I have to say on that.
All right. A lot of great points here, and the audience is going to vote for who they think won that debate. Just click on the link right below the video in YouTube and put your vote in. You can vote for Wayne or Wayne Maston or Adeline Pack here. And we'll get those results in a few seconds. But I don't know that much about the Mothman besides what I read on Reddit today, and it is very sexy, Owen.
Sean, I actually just got a book on the Mothman in case of this exact emergency. Turns out that oh god, it's blurry. 1 second, I have to delete my background.
Yeah, it's showing up as part of the background.
Documentary was actually pretty accurate to the events that occurred. So the Mothman appeared as a cryptozoological creature that was about the height.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was ready. It's deep. It was all building to the Mothman attempting to warn people about a bridge collapse. So in the end, the Mothman was a hero.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't like telling people of their death coming up like to taunt them. He was trying to warn them.
Yeah. Speculate that he's an old god and is in some way trying to communicate to us, the mere ants that exist around him, in order to warn them of their pending demise. Thank you.
Right on. All right. Well, the votes are in from this matchup, and it is another close one, separated by only one vote here. And our winner is Adeline Pack. So Adeline will be moving on. Wayne will face off against Craig later. And we're on to our next debate, which is Chloe Cunha versus Matt MacArthur.
Yay.
Woo!
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Chloe?
Yeah.
Matt. There you are, Matt. I'm in the Zoom meeting. Everybody keeps kind of moving around. I don't know why Zoom does that, but I just go oh, is Matt still here? He is. Okay, great. So Chloe, you can choose whether you go first or second here.
Ooh, well, I'm gonna keep the trend and go second.
Okay, so Matt, you can choose from any category you want now.
Okay, how about body?
Body, okay, right back to it. All right, your question is, would you rather have the face of a frog like the Loveland frog or glowing eyes like the Ozark howler?
I wouldn't mind going frog face on this one, I think, because there's only two things that can happen if someone kisses me, and it's either I become a prince, and wouldn't we all love that, or you get horrific warts that you have to get burned off. And either of those things could be true right now, frog or otherwise. Also, it would be fun. I think everyone wants to be able to eat bugs with their tongue from far away, because I have to keep getting up and grabbing with my hand to eat them, and it's annoying. You know what I mean? I never want to leave this couch for anything, whether it's work or sleeping or this Zoom meeting. And yeah, there's also a serious bug problem. I live in Quincy. I'm right down the street from Maggie's, drove by it today. So yeah, warts on your face, bugs. That's my point.
Okay, look, everyone agrees frogs are very sexy. No doubt about that. We all agree, frog face, ideal, it's perfect, it's beautiful. But as a French person, every time I saw myself in the mirror, I would get hungry. So it just would not work. My people eat frogs, and I don't think I should eat my own face. Just a thought, just a thought. I know we're not supposed to kink shame, but I think eating your face a little too far. Now, glowy eyes, that's cool as hell. You know what I've been watching a lot of? Avatar. You know what happens in Avatar? Their eyes glow white when they get into the Avatar state, and it's really cool. They can launch fire and water and wind, and I'm on the sequel now with the lady Avatar. Her name's Korra, and she has really attractive cartoon muscles. It's very attractive. But listen, the point is,
I guess I can understand that you don't want to eat your own face because it sounds bad, but there are a lot of people in Florida who are perfectly fine with it when bath salts are involved. It seems like it's actually the first thing you go to. Yeah, glowy eyes, that sounds sexy, I guess. But let's just eat our own faces. That's fine.
I don't know. I think this is propaganda, because one thing you're saying, you want to eat flies, and then you say, no, I want to eat my own face. Which is it, Matt? I'm just saying, I don't know. You can't do both. You can't eat flies if your face is gone. I'm just saying, all right? So choose one, all right? Choose one. Who doesn't have to choose one? Korra in Legend of Korra, Avatar, because she's bisexual. And her eyes, and it's really hot, and I just want to look like that. My cosplay would be next level.
All right. Well, there's no way that I could choose a winner here. There's so many solid points, on each side, but the audience will pick a winner. You guys can go in right now and vote for who you think was your favorite by clicking on the poll that's in the YouTube description, and let me know if you like Chloe or Matt to move on to next week. So, Owen, my obsession with the Loveland frog is that
I know you're married and maybe you found your thing, and it's great. It's so weird that you're pushing it on us right now. But you explain it. I get it. You're into it.
Yeah, it just has, I think, the best origin story of all of the cryptids, which is that a police officer said that he saw a 4-foot tall frog that looked like a human standing up on two legs. And then it turned out the next week, another police officer shot that thing, and it was just an iguana. But it somehow took
I'm
off.
sorry, he shot the only upright walking iguana. Like that was the missing link.
Yeah, I don't know why it was doing that. But
How are we
It starts
glossing
driving
over
and
the
shooting
police
guns.
brutality
Good thing you
side
took
of
it out.
this?
Yeah,
Fucking
Chloe's right. This is an accountability thing right now. This is awful. Do we know? Like, did the iguana, like, I'm gonna stop now because riffing on this topic is fucked up.
No, the best thing that we can do right now is look at what Craig Bideman is reading, which is
The end of policing.
Just reading The End of Policing.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I have it on my bookshelf too, but I don't want to move. I'm in bed.
All right. Well,
I also have it.
So Sean, so like a true Bostonian, you listened to a story about a cop, and that's how you got into cryptids. That's how this happened.
Cops aren't real.
Cops are
right.
I've never seen a cop in the wild.
The votes are in from this last debate, and the winner is Chloe Cunha. So Chloe, all right, well, we'll be moving on to next week, and Matt can have a chance at redemption tonight. So that's the first round, and everybody moving through the first round, I have in this order listed James Sheehan, Owen Linders, Shelly Gruenberg, Sam Reisman, Adeline Pack, and Chloe Cunha. So now we will see of the final 8 people that are in this, who's also going to move on. We're going to move on 4 more people on top of those that the 6 that we've already moved on. So the first matchup will be between Corey Saunders and Julia Rios.
Bring it.
So, Corey, do you want to go first or second?
I'll go second this time.
Okay. So, Julia, you can choose between, let's see, Origen, Habitat, Hoax, or Wildcard.
Let's go Hoax.
Okay. So your question is, you successfully prank a coworker, making them think they've discovered a previously unknown animal. The story takes off and gains national attention. Do you come forward and let everyone know that it was just a prank immediately, or do you wait 50 years and tell people while you're on your deathbed?
I wait 50 years for sure, because who doesn't love to see the entire world just going after this fake animal? That would bring me joy for the rest of my life. Plus, on my deathbed, I could leave a confessional memoir that anyone that I willed it to could use to sustain them financially. So it's like a win-win. I mean, who wouldn't want to give the gift of both fake animals and money? Time.
Here's a story. As a working journalist, I'm not trying to contribute to this fake news thing we have going. Not about that life, and I'm not having someone come after my credibility. Second of all, what dumbass fault for this prank? Because I'm sure it was just like some bullshit made out of cardboard or like a Photoshop picture or something. Who's like, oh my God, I better report this to the news. There's like an iguana monster like running down the streets of Boston. Like, who's the dumbass who believes that? And then goes to the media and is like, I have irrefutable proof. And then third of all, who's the media that believes this and is like, oh, this guy's right. We better like put this on CNN right now. It's not plausible and it's wrong and I won't stand for it.
All right. Well, I'm just going to say the Weekly World News was a very reputable, upstanding paper that I think we can all agree posted so many wonderful things like Bat Boy, and my animal would be in line with all of those, and it would give countless people joy. I think fake news is bad if it gives us things that are actually going to harm our society, but a harmless fake animal is just bringing love. Why are you down on love, Corey?
Because I'm fat, gay, and bitter. Like, how do we not know this by now? Like, this is not news. But like, here's a story. The Weekly World News is such a fucking rag. There's a reason it's not on the newsstands anymore. Sorry about it. We don't need I know, why am I so sassy? We don't need that nonsense. We don't need Bat Boy. We don't need Iguana Boy. We don't need Frog Boy, which there's been a lot of talk about reptiles tonight, and I'm really freaked out by it, by the way. Like, can we get off that? Because I feel like there's been a lot of talk about like making out with them, and I'm not about that.
All right. Well, now you can go in and vote for either Julia Rios or Corey Saunders, who I think Corey said he wants to get off on reptiles tonight.
That's the only thing I took away from that. Yeah.
That's the only thing I heard too.
Yeah.
It seems to run contrary to what it sounded like he was about to say, but I mean, hey, whatever.
No kink shaming.
No kink shaming in this group.
Lizard people in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go in and put in your vote now, and we will show the results in just a moment. And okay, the votes are in, and the winner of this round is Julia Rios. So Julia will be moving on, and let's head on to our next matchup. Let's see, it will be between Liz Esty and Laura Clark. Hey, Liz, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
I saw you just, it was Monday night, right?
Yeah, but who knows? Time is insane.
Yeah, it's been a week. It's been a real adventure this week. So, but you can choose whether you go first or second here, Liz.
I'll go second.
Okay, so Laura, you can choose which category you like.
Are they all available?
Let's see. We have, I think, Origin, Habitat, and Wildcard.
I would take wild card. It's
Okay.
as crazy as possible.
Great. So I know there's been a lot of talk about Reddit and sexualizing monsters tonight, and I'm sorry for this question, but here we go. So your question is, would you rather date a swamp monster or a lizard man?
Oh, wow. Lizard man, 1,000,000%. This is not even a question. Okay, first of all, swamp versus scale. One is squishy. One carries a stench. Where there was a bog in my backyard growing up. And so while like the smell of a swamp is a little bit nostalgic to me for that reason, you only want that. It's like, you know how when there's like cow manure in the air and you're like, oh, it's like when you go to a farm with ice cream, but you don't want to just smell cow manure all the time. All right. We're talking about fucking, I want to fuck a scaly man. And also lizard people control the world. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Yeah, I want to fuck someone influential, not a swamp thing. Time.
Put some respect on his name. He's a swamp monster, not a swamp thing, okay? They're different. And second of all, I much prefer a monster to a man, okay? Any day of the week, give me that monster, okay? I am on board. Third of all, what point am I on? Who knows? It doesn't matter. I have a thing, or I did as a kid, called sensory integration disorder, which means weird textures make me unhappy, which means I think I would prefer like the squishy, wet texture of a swamp monster to a hard, scaly, like I feel like there's way more opportunities for friction with a lizard man. And so in conclusion, swamp monster.
Okay. I just don't see how being made unhappy by weird textures is a good point for either of these creatures. But here's the thing though. After sex with my lizard boyfriend, like I'm getting up and I'm walking away and there's no lizard residue on me. You're all covered in bog shit. You're covered in moss. There's a reed with milk pods, etc.
You're assuming that I'm having sex outside of the swamp? Wrong. I'm having sex in the swamp, okay? Get it all done in there. It's good. Then I can take a shower afterwards, you know, and it's great. Why would I bring either a lizard man or a swamp monster into my bed? No, thank you.
All right, a lot of good points there, both out of Liz and Laura. And, you know, we need you to vote. So head into the poll. The link is in the description on YouTube right below the video right now. So go in there and click on it, whichever one you want to vote for. And while we're waiting on that, I will delete this question about dating monsters.
You coward.
No kink shaming.
That's
like
yeah.
I have to say that I thought getting caught like having sex in the Framingham State Library bathroom was gross, but Liz, you took it to another level.
It's a weird flex, but you know, do you?
Hold on.
Listen, we like knowledge, okay?
Did you go to Framingham State?
Oh hell yeah, 4 years, baby.
It's hard.
Oh, that's the swamp. Okay.
Yeah.
We have fun here.
All right. Let's check on these votes and see who everybody voted for here. And as the results roll in, the winner this round is a narrow win by Liz Esty. So Liz Esty will be moving on to next week. And thank you so much, Laura, for joining us. It was great to have
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Of course. And next up, we have Wayne Maston and Craig Bideman. So Wayne, you'll get to choose whether you go first or second here. What do you think?
Let me go second.
Second. Okay. So Craig, you can choose from Origin, Habitat. That's it. Origin or Habitat.
Let's do Origin.
Okay. Would you rather have your name be based on where you are seen most often, like Loch Ness, or a description of your appearance, like the Goat Man?
I think I'd rather have it based on my, like, where I'm seen most often, because it would be this spare bedroom. My name is this spare bedroom, everyone. The spare bedroom Bideman. I would not like to be known by what my parents are, because my biological parents, one of them is dead and the other one is a meth addict. So I'd rather not be named after either of those things. So I am this spare bedroom Bideman. Yeah.
Well, I think Goat Man, another name for Goat Man is Chupacabra. You may or may not know that, but I'm from Roswell, New Mexico, whether you know that. And Roswell is the home of some pretty significant, serious goings on in the secret creature world. There were UFOs crashed there and they found aliens. And those aliens, as you may know, are sometimes known for going out and doing cattle mutilations. And the chupacabra was invented to hide the fact that the UFO people are actually going out doing cattle mutilations. They can now blame it on this thing called the chupacabra. So, you know, it's not a question of where you are, it's a question of what you look like, because we don't really care whether you're in a spare bedroom as long as we can hide the fact that the aliens are mutilating all of those cattle and all those other things that those aliens do, to include UFO.
Yeah. Okay. Point of clarification.
I don't know what just happened.
Craig. The second option was that your name would be based on what you look like, your appearance.
Oh,
not
oh,
parents.
your parents.
Yeah.
So, Sean, here's the thing. Your accent throws me off sometimes, buddy.
My apologies.
So, should I just give this one to Wayne then?
No, I mean, you still made a great case for the first part of it. It's just that the second part, I wanted you to know which, you know, that it was your parents.
Okay.
But you still have 30 seconds here for rebuttal. I've used 25 of it, but just get right into it.
So yeah, I don't want to look like my parents at all. I'm adopted, so I don't really care about what that all matters anymore, Sean. I cannot rebound from this. Go ahead, Wayne.
Even if it was parents, I would be happy to look like my parents, because, you know, those came in from outer space on the alien spaceships are very proud of what we look like. Unlike the Goat Man, or the Spare Room Man, or any of those other, you know, unique creatures that are out there that have all been made up to hide the fact that aliens are among us today.
Time. All right. Yeah, I feel like I took a lot away with my accent there. Also, I forgot to say it wasn't Origin. It was actually Oregon that I was supposed to be saying there. All right. Hey, everybody, go ahead and vote for your favorite right now. Right below me in the description there, you can find the link to the poll where you can vote for Wayne Maston or Craig Bideman. And one of them will be moving on to next week. Here's a gross fact about chupacabra. It literally translates to goat sucker. That's true. Yeah, that is a pretty disgusting fact about chupacabra.
You're welcome.
What does Bigfoot translate to? In Spanish.
La Bigfoot.
Pie Grande? I don't know. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
There's another chapter on the El Chupacabra here as well. Turns out they don't like loud sounds, so that's it. That's the only way you can ward them off.
All right.
Super
Good.
informative.
You always throw them a dead cow. They like that.
Well, our votes are in here, and our winner by a narrow margin, one vote. Our winner is Wayne Maston. So Wayne will be moving on to next week as well. And so we are on to our final debate of the evening to see who's moving on to next week. And it will be between Jer Palapple and Chloe Cunha. So Jer, you can choose whether you go first or second here.
Chloe's in.
Yeah, Chloe won.
Oh, sorry. I wrote down the wrong name here.
Oh no.
Jer and Matt MacArthur.
Sean, what are you doing? You're writing the wrong names down. You're having an accent. It's just falling all out of place.
Too horny.
That's what I'm saying. Come on.
That's an election.
Too horny for that frog creature. It's melting your brain.
I apologize, Chloe. That's my fault.
Who are you and what have you done with Sean Carter?
We have Jer Palapple and Matt MacArthur as our final matchup of the night. So, and it will be up to Jer whether he wants to go first or second.
I'll go first.
Okay, great. So, let's see. Your question. will be, let's see. It could be either Origin or Body or Hoax or Wild Card.
Let's do a Body.
Okay. So
Holy shit, Jer.
your question is, would you rather live in society as a giant salamander or as a skunk ape?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with the skunk ape because that's two things, and that seems double useful. I don't know for what necessarily, but like apes, they got big hands and they can tear faces off. And if that doesn't work, it's got a stinky butt, and that's always useful. When has it ever not been? Then if apes, they love bananas. I get all sorts of those. I don't know what skunks eat, but I'm sure it's tasty. And then it comes out the butt, and that is the gerbil time.
Sean, would you remind him repeating the question for me?
Oh, sure thing. If you had to live in society as one of these cryptids, would you rather be a giant salamander or a skunk ape?
I guess a salamander, because they're adorable and slimy, and we've already determined that everybody loves that. I could live under a moist log, which would be very similar to my current living conditions. And everyone would say I'm a lizard, and I'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm a salamander. Look how cute my little tiny arms are. Have you ever seen a salamander's arms? They're so cute. And they're like, are there bones in there? I don't think they have bones in their arms. You can Google that, and it'll probably say differently, but trust me, salamanders don't have bones in their arms. And, you could be like wacky inflatable arm person, except wacky inflatable, but not inflatable floppy arm salamander guy. And I think that's cute. And, I eat bugs too. You've already heard my status on that.
I agree that the salamanders are cute. Here's the thing, too cute. They're a little close to the frogman, and I'm not looking to make out with Sean. I'm very spoken for. And I could still be the tube man with the skunk ape arms, and everyone will smell it, and also it might knock down a building or something. And that's a lot of fun. Then everyone's going to be like, wow, what a job he did knocking down that building. It was probably full of cops.
I don't know. I'd probably make out with Sean if he was a frog person and Sarah was cool with it. You know what I mean? Like, now that he shaved the beard and I can see how smooth the face is, imagine how much smoother it would be if it was made of frog skin. I don't think he's a resistible person. Time.
All right, so many good points here, and it's up to you, the audience, to vote through one of these two comics to next week. So go into the poll right underneath the YouTube video there, right in the description. You can find that link. Click on that and then vote for either Jer Palapple or Matt MacArthur. And while we're doing that, let me just read you a little bit of my fan fiction about Frogman. I'm totally joking. Do you remember when that the guy in Virginia was running for the congressional seat and he was writing Bigfoot erotica?
Yes. What was that, a decade ago?
Like last year.
Remember when we're all like, that's such a weird thing to happen, and now we're like, that seems so like just quaint, compared
He's
to.
now a chaired professor at Liberty University.
He was a professor?
No, he is now. He's a chaired professor at Liberty University.
Oh God.
That makes perfect
Who
sense.
hired
Actually.
him?
Yo, Liberty University is nasty, and I love it.
Really bad.
You don't get called Liberty University by keeping the freaks out.
That's right. Liberty University if you're nasty.
All right, so the votes are in on this final debate, and our winner is close one here, but our winner is Jer Palapple. So Jer will be moving on to next week. And thank you so much, Matt, for joining us tonight. It's awesome to have you on. So that is our show for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with our comedy trivia show, and Friday with our third preliminary show. And then next week we'll have it narrowed down to 32 people. So thanks so much, everybody, and good night.
Bye.
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 Pick a big side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a big side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a big side.